2014, I was involved in a rescue at sea where a small charter boat had overturned, capsized in big seas. On that day, I was 35 miles offshore, tuna fishing. The water, fortunately, was relatively warm at 62 degrees. The seas were building, and I had made the decision that it was time for my fishermen and I to go home. And as we were putting our gear away to head for home, we heard a retransmission of a mayday by the Coast Guard. We never heard the initial mayday. The skipper only had time to get the latitude. As it turned out, the last known location of that boat was about 4 miles from our position. And as we made our way toward that location, the wind continued to build, the seas continued to build. It was just turning into a really nasty day. I nearly ran over an individual in the water. Unbeknownst to us, all 3 charter boats had driven right past the overturned vessel that had 3 people hanging on it yet. It had capsized but not sunk. There were 3 guys hanging on that boat. They were able to watch us go right by them, and we never saw them because of the condition of the seas. I got 3 of my fishermen lined out to help recover this guy. We didn't really know whether we were picking up a survivor or a body. By that time, they'd been in the water over an hour. We managed to get him on board the boat. He was not coherent enough to be able to tell us what the boat was, how big it was, or how many people had been on the boat. By the time we'd gone less than 1/8 of a mile, we spotted another person in the water holding onto a life jacket. He didn't even have the ability to get the life jacket on. Very difficult to do in the water. At that time, I radioed another one of the charter boats. He took his boat in and retrieved that gentleman from the water. Very shortly after that, the Helos arrived on the scene. Now on this day, there were 2 Helos involved. One was from North Bend, the other from Astoria. These guys had been in the water over an hour, fortunately in 62-degree water, and were in very tough shape. One of the helicopters retrieved the 3 gentlemen from the overturned boat, and the other helicopter came and lifted the folks off my boat and the Miss Raven with the recovery baskets. The fellow that was on my boat, once he was in the helicopter and made his way they took him to the hospital, of course. When he got to the hospital, his core temperature was, if I remember correctly, 86 degrees. And I've been told by EMTs that that is below death's threshold. Had he not been airlifted off my boat, there's no doubt in my mind that he would have expired before I could ever get him to port. Fortunately, on that day, all 5 people that were on that boat survived. And had they been in colder water, closer to shore, there's not a doubt in my mind that we would have been faced with recovery of bodies rather than rescue. People go in this water, they just can't last.